Gemini just launched a brand new model that is its best model yet, and it literally just got released, and I don't know why not that many people are talking about it. It's literally 100% free. It's the best coding model that they have. It's the best writing model that they have, and it's the best at math and solving so many other different problems. And by the end of this video, you're gonna know exactly how to access it and 3 crazy things that you could do with it. Okay, now in order to actually access this new model, you need to come over to aistudio.google.com, and by the way, this is literally 100% free. Then what you're gonna do is come over to the top right hand side right here, and you're going to be able to navigate to Gemini 2.5 Pro preview. You want to be looking at this one that says 0605, which is today, the day that I am recording this video. The last time that they updated this beforehand was about a month ago, and as you can see, they also recently updated Gemini 2.5 Flash Preview on 520, but it wasn't a massive upgrade, so I didn't actually make a video about it then. But what we will notice, if we come into here, you can now do a bunch of different things. For example, you can set a thinking budget. You can now change whether or not you want to use these different tools down here, like structured output, code execution, function calling, grounding with Google search, or URL context. If we come over here, what you are going to notice is that this has a knowledge cutoff of January 2025. You could see it over here. Now, if we come to grounding with Google search, guess what that does? That then references everything that is going to say against Google search. So basically, that gives it thinking that's going to be current so long as whatever Google search results it's comparing itself to are actually up to date and current. Now, one of the things that I really love about AI Studio is you can come over here, right here, click on this, and be able to compare different models. Now, this is really cool because guess what we're going to do? We're going to come over here. We're going to make sure that this is on Gemini 2.5 Pro Preview, the latest model, and we're going to come over here and we are going to put this on the older model so we can actually see how big of an upgrade this truly was for a bunch of different prompts. And as we can see here, this is since the latest update. It's now amazing at reasoning and knowledge, or even better than every other model. It's better than every other model at science and also at coding. But the first prompt that I want to show off here actually doesn't have that much to do with any of these things. The prompt that I'm going to give it is explain love to somebody that has never been in love. And the reason that I'm doing this is because I want to show off how much better this is at writing and how much better it is at a bunch of other things. So we could see right here that this typically goes through and thinks and gets to action way faster than the model from just a month ago. And I'm talking way faster. I mean, this thing is almost halfway done with this. And guess what? This is just getting started over here. So we could see that this thought for 16 seconds. And if we come over here, we could see that this one thought for way less, only 10 seconds. So that's like what? 50% improvement, something around the lines of that. And if we come over here and begin to read this, imagine trying to describe the color blue to someone who's only seen in black and white. You could try to use metaphors and comparisons, but the true experience will always be just beyond their grasp. Explaining love to someone who's never felt it is a similar challenge. It's complex, it's multifaceted emotion that can be difficult to put into words. So it goes through the science of love, the different kind of loves, the metaphor of love, what does it feel like to be in love, and then it gives us a bunch of other different sources down here. Now, if we come over here, we could see this. Explaining love to someone who has never experienced it is like trying to describe a color to someone who's born blind. It's a profound experience, hard to capture in words alone. However, here's an attempt to give you some sense of what it looks like. So as we can see right here, this actually goes through, and this seems just like a lot more human. It's writing out a better response. It's writing out a more human felt response. And if we come over here, this just seems a lot more robotic in my opinion. And you can see that it doesn't actually give much context with each of these things, where this actually gives quite a bit more context with each point that it's actually making, which again shows you that this is a massive upgrade for writing, but also it's a massive upgrade for several other things. Now, before we get into all the other crazy use cases for this brand new model, I need you to smash that subscribe button if you want to stay up to date on the latest and greatest updates in AI. I upload videos like this every single day, and you're not going to want to miss them. Now, the next use case I wanted to use this for was for coding. So again, we're going to come into compare mode. We're going to change this to the latest model right here. We're going to change this to the model from yesterday, or I guess the model from last month at this point. We're going to come over here and we are going to type in this prompt. So I want you to write a program that shows a ball bouncing inside of a spinning hexagon. Balls should be affected by gravity, friction, must bounce off the rotating walls realistically, add sliders to adjust for parameters, blah, blah, blah. So we're going to click run right here. And as we could see, the same thing more likely than not is going to happen. This model on the left is just way faster. It thinks way quicker. You're going to see that it codes way quicker, and we're going to be able to see which one of these actually gives us a better result when we bring these things into Gemini and actually begin to compare them. So I'm going to wait till the one on the left right here actually begins to code, and then we can actually go into Gemini and begin to set up the canvas that we were going to use in order to actually see which one of these things is better. So we can see that these are still thinking right now, and looks like they actually both started around the same time. But we can see that this looks like it's going to finish way quicker over here. Now, this is actually the first time that I've had this experience, so I'm kind of glad that this happened live. Every other time that I've tried to get it to code, this was way faster through the thought process. So this finished in 33 seconds. If we come over here, we're going to see that this finished in, so actually this was 0.1 seconds slower. Now again, I haven't had that experience before. Maybe we could try with something else after this, but we have this code here. If we come over here, we also have this code. Actually, now this shows that it thought for a little bit longer. So this was actually slightly longer now, it looks like. Now, if we come down here, we could see all of this different code, and we could see that it actually gave us a bunch of different things here. You know what? It looks like this actually thought multiple times on the right-hand side. Okay, so it thought for each thing that it did in order to do this. Okay, so I have the code over here, how to use, copy the code below. Okay, so this is the index HTML. Let's see if this also gave us that. This looks like it might not have even done the right thing. Okay, document HTML, use this code. So I'm going to say to both of them, just give me the HTML doc. It looks like on the right-hand side, it actually did give me this with this index HTML right here. But what I can see on the right side, didn't actually give me that. So both of these now are just writing out the code, and we can see that this is, looks like they're both going about the same speed right here. Now, what we're going to do is open up a new Gemini window. We're going to come over here, going to log into my account that is not on Workspace, because Workspace is kind of a pain in the neck. And we can come back over here, see if these are both coding through. So this one did finish earlier. What we're going to do is we're going to copy this. We're going to come to Gemini. We're going to do this. We're going to say, open this in Canvas. We're going to paste the code in here. So this one on the left-hand side was the newer model. If we open up another Gemini, and once again, we come over to this, we're going to now copy code from here. We're going to come over here and say, open this in Canvas. Okay, so we have both of these things actually opening. So as we can see here, I'm going to out of this, and we could see that this has actually solved the problem right here. We could change the size of the ball here if we wanted to. This will go through and actually change it. We could change the rotation speed if we want. We could have this rotate quick. We could have it rotate slow. Looks super realistic. It is clearly affected by gravity. We could mess around with it over here. Now, if we come over here, we're going to see for some reason, okay, so perfect example here. This does not let me preview this. So I'm going to say, let me preview this. So again, it does look like actually the model on the right-hand side screwed something up. I had a suspicion that that happened, the way that it actually wrote this out, but we could see in practice that this is actually screwed up here. So I'm not actually able to preview this. Wonder why I'm not actually able to preview this, but I don't have time to actually go through and troubleshoot because I wanted to show you guys which one of these models is better. And clearly the model on the left-hand side was better because what I put in here actually worked, and what I put in with the other model didn't work. Okay, now for the last test that I have, I want to compare this with how quickly they're actually able to break down a YouTube video. So we have the new model on the left-hand side. If we come over to the right-hand side, we have the old model over here. We're going to type in this prompt right here. I am now going to grab this link. So this link is a link to a YouTube video. Come over here, click on YouTube video. We are going to put in the YouTube URL right here. This is new that it's asking for the start time, the end time, and the frames per second. I am not going to fill that stuff out. Let's see if this actually uploads this right here. I've actually never seen it do that before. So we're going to click on run right here. We're going to see that this video is going to take 251,000 tokens from each of these. And we could see that each of them are beginning to actually go through, are analyzing what they have to do at hand. They're then going to begin thinking, begin analyzing the video, and we will see which one of these actually does this the quickest. Okay, so if we go through here, we could see on the left-hand side, this says overall strategy, the sales funnel. So this video is an excellent example of highly effective marketing and sales funnel disguised as an educational YouTube video. It's meticulously structured for a viewer from casual interest to high intent in over 10 minutes. So this says this video is a masterclass in direct response marketing, persuasive selling, tailored for a YouTube audience. So it seems like this model on the left-hand side is just way more honest, cuts through the noise, and kind of explains things more like in a conversational tone. This seems like a lot more generic. It seems a lot more jargon-based. So in my opinion, it just isn't as smart, right? It'd be like if you were talking to somebody in real life and they're just using a lot of big words and saying a lot of crazy things, and you kind of leave thinking like, yeah, they're intelligent, but like I have no idea what they were saying. The model on the left doesn't feel like that. The model on the right does feel like this. So what this actually breaks down like, hey, we have this, we have this, we have this, we have this, we have this. And this doesn't break it down initially. It just goes through each of them and then goes through why all the different specific elements work and then key takeaways. Where this breaks out the script and again, it gives us way more things here. It gives us the language, the FOMO, the historical panel, the visual reinforcement. It breaks down the actual timestamps for each of these things, not just giving us a timestamp, walks through why it works. It actually says something from the script. It goes through each of these parts, and then this gives a conclusion right here. So again, on the left-hand side, I am seeing this new model do amazing things when it comes to multimodal expression. For example, looking at a YouTube video, breaking down the script. It's doing a really awesome job, a way better job at coding. And when it comes to writing, it's also doing a better job. So I would strongly suggest for each of you that you go check out this new Gemini model and try it for yourself. I'm not sure if you've seen the reports yet, but Goldman Sachs just came out and said that they think in the next 12 months, AI is going to replace over 300 million jobs. So my question for you is, are you going to be one of those people that's replacing those jobs, or are you going to be one of the people that gets replaced because you didn't embrace AI? And that's exactly why I created AI Automation School that you could check out at the pinned comment below. In fact, I have special launch pricing right now. So if you want to stay ahead of what's happening in AI and you want to learn how to automate your work with AI, how to make more money with AI, how to build AI agents without knowing having to code, or you just want me to audit your personal AI workflow so we could speed things up for you, I strongly suggest that you check it out. Now, if you like this video, I strongly suggest you check out this video right here that walks you through another brand new AI tool that can access so many different things like your email, your Notion, your Slack, and actually complete tasks for you. Check it out here. And by the way, it's literally 100% free.